shoot! At least I think it was, unless it was just like getting snagged on another branch or something. Pulling funny. I'm pretty sure that was a fish. It wasn't a bite, but it was a fish.
That took some touch right there to be able to feel that.
There's a little bit of skin on there, like that almost looks like pike skin, doesn't it? See that?
Yeah, it's greenish.
What's up, fisher people? Boats in the shop. The lakes are like 90% covered in ice, but I'm here. I'm in North Dakota. I have to try to catch walleyes. So, Ripple Lip and I decided we're gonna do some shore fishing. We're gonna go old school, drive around, look at some ramps, check the ice conditions, bring some rods, bring some bait, try to catch some walleyes. And some of the boat ramps were accessible if you were super desperate to get a boat out there, and obviously these guys were pretty desperate.
Just using little duck boats and shovels.
And the challenge, obviously, with shore fishing, kind of like ice fishing, is being able to cover enough water, especially when you're fishing a big lake like Sakakawea. So what we decided to do was basically use the pickup kind of as our boat to cover water in a sense, and just drive to as many spots as we possibly could. And we eventually wound up driving to different lakes as well. So we hit Douglas Bay and Deepwater Bay on Lake Sakakawea. We then took a little detour and actually tried out Hiddenwood Lake, which had more ice on it than I expected. It was barely fishable. I'm gonna slay it. Might get it fall off the ice here. And then there's also a little lake called Makoti Lake, which is kind of like right connected to Hiddenwood with a little road that kind of separates the two. Didn't have any luck there. There was a little more open water to fish, but didn't find anything. Then we also had to try Lake Audubon too, since it's right next to Sakakawea and did have a little more ice off of it than Sakakawea did, so there's a few more spots that were accessible to try fishing. We did a bunch of like pitching jigs, obviously. We were pitching jigs with minnows, pitching jigs with plastics, trying to cover some water and catch some fish as much as we possibly could with our pickup and our legs, but eventually it kind of became obvious that we just had to like let some minnows soak and let the fish come to us, because I just think they were too sluggish to be chasing a lot of that stuff with a bunch of ice still on the lake. So we eventually settled on a spot where there's a little bit of open water, but you could cast onto the ice if you wanted to. So we were just like casting right next to the edge of the ice and letting the bait sit out there with a slip sinker, and set up camp, put up the chairs, and chilled out for a while and waited to see if any fish would come through. Randy's guiding me today, showing me a little of his shore fishing techniques. What are we doing, man?
Shotties, shotgun shell, shore fishing. That's basically it. I guess it's an egg sinker, barrel swivel, and floating jig, and a couple minnows.
Bam.
Don't have to worry about how much wind there is or anything, so it's sweet. May have a fish here.
Loose. Action. Oh, he's going out fast too. Look at this.
Oh yeah!
That's a good fish, Randy. Come on, girl. Hey, button, baby. Is that an eyeball? Yeah, it is. It's a walleye!
It's a nice one.
It's a great walleye.
Wow.
That is shore fishing, my friend. He took off with it once he decided to go, too. Yeah! Nice little 18, 19 incher. Go back in the water?
Yeah.
Ready to release?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Ready to go? See ya.
Wow.
Yeah! Shore fishing, baby. Look at that. 2 walleyes. He sat in that same spot for what, 3, 4 minutes? You gotta be kidding me. 2 shore fishes. Oh, we got ice on the lake. I have shore fished a little bit before on Lake Sakakawea, not a ton. It's usually out at the marina off the Courtesy Dock in Fort Stevenson, and I've had some days where I've pulled in there and, you know, casted some jigs and caught 3, 4, 5 decent walleyes or some white bass or smallmouth or something like that, but I've never really spent a lot of time doing it. This is the first time that we did like a hardcore, all day shore fishing adventure, trying as hard as we possibly could to find and get on and catch some fish. So I don't know, it was kind of neat. It kind of took me back to like being a little kid, fishing on the river in my hometown, just driving my bike around with my friends to like different spots and seeing what we could catch. So if you haven't been able to get your boat out yet, or maybe you don't even have a boat, like there are shore fishing opportunities, especially this time of year in the spring. This is the best time to do it because you got fish that are in bays, creeks, shallow water, spawning, looking for warmer water, and they're more accessible than they would be in the middle of the season. So if that's something you're interested in doing, this is the time to do it. If this video did get you excited about spring walleye fishing, I'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button to say so other people can find the video and maybe check out one of these other videos somewhere on the screen to keep feeding the fire. Should I punch it like Tom Boley?